Hawaiians are. So where are the Latinos? Where's Team Vietnam? Where's Team Chinese? Okay. The rest are over in registration. A funny thing happened on my way to work this morning. So I got up, it was like 3:54, I woke up this morning. And I was thinking, you know, I could sit around the house or I can come to work. So I started packing my stuff, and I packed an extra suit, put it in my car, and I got another pair of shoes, and I thought I put them in my car. But I put them on the roof of my car. So I'm driving down, it's pitch black. It's like 5:30 in the morning by the time I'm on my way to work, and it's pitch black, and I make this left turn, and pretty soon I hear this thump thump across my roof, you know? What was that? And I remembered it was my shoes. And I looked in my rearview mirror, and there were my brand new shoes that I bought last week at Nordstrom, sitting in the middle of the road. So I was saying, okay, do I make a U-turn and try and save them before somebody runs over them? And I did, and thankfully nobody ran over them. So I know I'm going to have a great day today because nobody ran over my shoes. So we're excited today because we're going to talk about the future. And I'm excited because I get to share the stage with two people who I've only met through social media. My only association with Hazel and Emma has been through Periscope or FaceTime or their Facebook pages. I've watched everything they do. There's nothing private. So we have a great opportunity today, not only to talk about the future, but how to take advantage of the future. Now I was thinking, what could I share that would help you understand where we're at today? So I thought I'd talk a little bit about the evolution of Nu Skin, because my employee badge, just so you know, is employee number 20. That means there are 19 employees that still work for Nu Skin who are ahead of me. And I'm the only one of those 19 that spends 90% of his time out in the field for almost 29 years. So I have a little bit of a different perspective than some of the people, because those other 19 are cutting checks, they work in commissions, or they work out at the warehouse. And I've had the absolute most amazing blessing in my life to be associated with amazing people and to be able to see what you do on a daily basis. So let's just recognize that today is just one of those special days. Today is one of those days that you can be absolutely assured that you're going to understand the future. You know, there are moments in time, I call them defining moments, when we can say we were there at that moment. And you're going to be grateful that you were here today. And those of you that are watching us live online, you're going to be grateful that you were able to watch us and hear what is really happening here. So let me just talk a little bit about the evolution of Nu Skin. So when I began my journey, I was employee number 47. And I started in this building, the second one over on your left. That was where I started. I had a little red couch in the corner. We had one computer for the whole company. Really, one computer for the whole company in 1988. And you can see the company's evolved over the years. That, we built the tower that my office is in 1992. I moved in May of 1992. And then, as you know, last year, or 2 years ago, we inaugurated the Innovation Center, which has been a huge addition to the Nu Skin evolution. So I thought I'd just kind of show you a little fun evolution here on my part. So just so you can see, I've had a little bit of an evolution over the years. So you need to remember, okay, I had a mustache in the 1980s when everybody had a mustache. So Jeff DeMelka did me a favor and made sure that I'm still current, you know? Me and Geraldo Rivera. But it's just an interesting thing to watch how our business has evolved. So you go back to 1984 when the company got started. And you'll see in this video, in this picture, there's Blake Brony, along with other distributors, doing the facelift and activator. This was what I call the belly-to-belly phase of the business. This is when the only way the business worked was if you were in front of somebody. There weren't, cell phones existed, but they didn't exist for the masses. I had one in my car because I bought an old car from Blake's brother, because that was how I got my cars in the early days. Whenever they had cast-offs, I'd get whatever they wanted to cast off, and I'd buy it, and it happened to have a brick in it, and that was called a cell phone. But back in those days, the only way the business worked was belly to belly. You know, there were hotel meetings and things of that nature, but that was the way the business worked. And then in 1992, the business changed. The environment changed. Let me just show you, before I go to that, I want to show you this video. This is 1980s Nu Skin, just so you can.
I'd like to welcome you to the company that is becoming synonymous with all these things, along with providing a youthful-looking complexion. Welcome to Nu Skin International. Nu Skin is a phenomenon. It is one of the true opportunities of a lifetime. I hope you grasp it and take it to your full potential. And may I say, welcome aboard.
Now that goes way back. Some of you remember him from, was it The Incredible Hulk? Yeah. It's pretty famous. It was just that video transformed our business in the 1980s. People sent out thousands and thousands of these videos so that they could get in contact with people. That was the business. And then we evolved to the next phase, which was conference calls. Now we do conference calls today, they're web calls, webinars, and things of that nature, but that in those days, if you could get 100 people on a phone call, that was a miracle. I mean, literally, people would pay thousands of dollars to hold a conference call so that they could introduce the business and talk about the business. Now, some of you weren't even born when Nu Skin got started, Evan. Some of you don't know what life was like before the internet. Some of you don't know what life was like without a cell phone. I mean, people really did live without these things. But the great thing is that Nu Skin evolved. And then in 1996, I was asked to represent the company's technology initiative within the direct selling industry. And this was really as the internet was beginning to have an impact. In 1995, Coca-Cola produced their first webpage. Just to put it in perspective, this is how new the internet really is, because we would all say Coca-Cola is a huge consumer products company. Their first website to talk about the company was 1995. Nu Skin, our first webpage was 1996. And this is just an example of what the internet did. It was really our first endeavor into this whole new world of being able to communicate in a completely different way. And you can see that the company evolved. And you look at where Nu Skin is today relative to the web. Now, one of the other ways I measure my progress, I always put my age in my passwords when I sign up for a new tool for the first time. I don't tell you the rest of the story, but just so you know, my age is in there. 16 years ago, let's see, it would be more than 16 years ago, excuse me. It would be 18 years ago, I signed up for AOL Messenger. Some of you remember what AOL Messenger was. That was really Facebook Messenger of today. And my password at the time was special, and then it had 41 in it. I was 41 years old. I'm going to be 59 in 2 months. But I know that in 2012, my world changed. Because my password on Facebook has 2012 in it. Because that's when I signed up on Facebook. And our world changed again. Literally, the way we communicated, the way our distributors communicated, the way the company's message was communicated, changed dramatically as a result of the Facebook revolution. And Nu Skin evolved. And here we are today, in a new world. The world's flat. You know what that means, right? That means that regardless of where you are in the world, you have the same capacity to be an entrepreneur as somebody who lives in a large metropolitan area. You can be in the most remote places of Colombia or Mexico or Latin America or in Africa or in Asia and participate on a level playing field because the world's changed. The world has changed. So all that's required today to participate in Nu Skin is a device. Now today we talk about the mobile device. There was an article in a London newspaper today, this morning, that said that the mobile phone has now replaced the PC computer in terms of our work devices. Today. So you need a device. Now today we talk about our iPhones or our Samsungs. Right? You need a connection. We need the internet. You hear about Facebook and Google and the initiatives that they're taking to provide high-speed access to the whole world, to remote places in Africa, so that everybody can participate on a level playing field. And then you need a platform. Today it's Facebook. Who knows what it will be? Here's what's important. What's important is to understand this. The future, no one knows. I mean, no one in 1996 would have ever fathomed that we would be doing the business the way we're doing it today. No one knows what the future is going to be like. But if you look at the past as evidence of how a company will behave in the future and how Nu Skin has evolved, then you get this. Nu Skin will be wherever that place is. We will always be. So you look at our business today and you say it's pretty sophisticated. And what Nu Skin's working on, and you're going to hear more of that this afternoon, is how we can always make sure that we are ahead of where everybody else is. To make sure that the world is flat for everybody. That it doesn't matter where you live, that you can all participate in Nu Skin. Now, last week, I had one of these life-changing moments. So last week I went to Cancun, Mexico. That wasn't the life-changing part, even though that was fun. And I did get a little sun. After Cancun, I flew to Colombia. And I came back and I told people, my life has changed. And I've said that a few times to distributors. When I went to Malawi, my life was changed. When I went to Colombia, my life was changed. And it became clear to me this statement from Stephen Jobs, when he said, the only way to be satisfied in life is to do what you believe is a great work. And the only way to do a great work is to love what you do. And I can tell you, you need to understand that Nu Skin is doing great things. Great things. So I took this picture. I went to La Guajira, a region in Colombia where literally since 2014, 7,000 children below the age of 5 have perished from malnutrition. And I went there so that Nu Skin and our distributors from Colombia could begin the distribution of Vitameal for these children. And I saw this little girl hiding. It wasn't her mother. It was a friend, but she was an older girl. So she was hiding, and I just saw this beautiful girl, and I took out my iPhone, and I posted this picture on the internet, put it on Instagram so that the world could see the great things that Nu Skin's doing. Little girls like this, hundreds of little girls like this, thousands of little girls like this will be the beneficiaries of what you're doing. We will make a difference. When I came home, I want you to know that the greatest product we have isn't in a bottle. The greatest product we have isn't in a building. The greatest product we have as a company, as individuals, is changing lives. That's our greatest product. We change lives. That little girl's life will be different because the distributor and the company work together to make sure she has a highly nutritious meal every day for the rest of her life. Other little children will be alive because of your commitment. Because we recognize that this business is more than dollars in the bank account. This business is about how we make a life better, whether that's through a product or whether that's through introducing somebody to provide them a pathway to economic security and ultimately economic freedom. That's what Nu Skin's about. That's why when I come to work at 5:30 in the morning, I come because I absolutely love what we do. I believe that collectively we are involved in the greatest work of all mankind, making lives better. When I was talking to the director of this foundation, he was asking me, why do we do the things we do? And I said, well, I learned long ago from one of my close friends, Blake Roney, that we'll live our whole lives, and we're going to work for 40 years. And 95% of that time we're going to spend working. And nobody's going to remember what we did. And we're going to spend 5% of our time trying to make a difference in the world, and everybody's going to remember us for that. And I want us to be remembered for the 5%. I want Nu Skin to be known for the 5% of our time that we're going to spend changing humanity. And that's what makes me excited about the future. Sure, Nu Skin will always be at the leading edge, but we will never forget, ever forget, who we are. It's not about dollars, it's about people. It's not about products, it's about people. When you hear all the talk today and tomorrow, what you need to come back to is the fact that this is a people business. We're in the business of people. That's why the future is so bright. So I have the opportunity at this time to introduce Emma Carpenter. As I said, I only met Emma through Facebook. In fact, today was the first day. She came up to my office for a second, and I met her for just a second. So just take a second to watch this video on Emma. Thank you.
I've always been a massive dreamer, and I've always set huge goals for myself, and I believe that you can do anything that you set your mind to. So from a young age, I was always saying I'm going to live in a house like that, I'm going to drive a car like that. I was quite often told that I needed to marry a rich man for that, and I would always say, no, I'm going to be a rich woman. I didn't know how because I was only very young, but I always knew I could aspire to be more. So I think people expected me to go to university and have a corporate job. The first day in that office, I was just really shocked that I'd worked so hard at university to get my degree, and then that was going to be it. I was confined to an office. I think I spent all day on my first day kind of looking out the window just thinking, there's no way I can do this for the next 40 to 50 years. I knew right there and then on my first week of my first job that being employed was not for me. And then one day, this lady that I'd met through my traditional business, who's now my mentor and good friend, she rang me up quite a few times about a new opportunity. I was just like, I need to find out what she's talking about. I don't think that there was any one particular moment where I thought I was going to be successful. I just thought I need to run with this because I'm definitely onto something. I think that here in the UK we're often taught that as a woman we need to choose between having a career and having a family, and it's completely wrong, and this opportunity is absolutely perfect because you can balance being a mum, being independent, having your own business but combining it with a family life. So it's really helped me to get out of my comfort zone, it's pushed me to be more confident, it's pushed me to have more integrity, just to be an all-round better person. It's made me into a much more positive person as well, and being a mum, I think that's so important. I love that my little boy is going to grow up around so much positivity, and just to be able to show him that you can achieve anything that you set your mind to, and it doesn't matter how big or crazy the goal and dream is, you can really achieve anything. If someone is thinking about joining this opportunity and they're not sure, I would say that you've got absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. And if you just don't go for it, how are you ever going to know if it's for you or not? My favourite things to do are being around my friends and family, being around my little boy. I love socialising, I love food, eating out, just being social in general. Shopping, of course, I love my products, so this business is perfect for me. Probably something that people don't know about me, I'm actually a really shy person. I have to really push myself forward, and so I feel like anybody could do this business. It doesn't matter how shy or quiet you are, what background you're from, anybody can do this. I'm Emma Carpenter, I'm a mum, I'm a loving partner, I'm a friend, I'm a mentor, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a motivator, I'm a dreamer, believer, and an achiever.
Hi everybody, I hope you can hear me okay. I feel so emotional after watching that video, even though I've seen it before, but it just makes me feel so emotional because my life has changed so much with this opportunity, and I feel so honoured to be here to be able to talk to you about how I've implemented social media into my business. Just to give you a little bit of background about my journey so far, I got introduced to this opportunity 3 years ago, and I found it really tough. To be honest, when I first saw the compensation plan, I thought to find 12 people that see what I see, that would be so easy. Not at all. And so I spent a whole year working at the business, or what I thought was working at the business. And I hit executive really quickly, but a year later, I was about to fall back from executive. I was provisional 3, and I was going to quit the opportunity. And I went to an event in London, and there was something still in the back of my mind that I need to carry on with this, I need to just take it forward. And I went home and I started attending all events, and I started implementing social media into my business in a big way. It was a really natural fit for me because, as I said, I'm a shy person, so being on stage is well out of my comfort zone, and going over to talk to people that I don't know is so out of my comfort zone as well. So it was such a natural fit. I had moved away from my hometown to live with my partner Alex, and I wanted to share with my friends and family what I was up to. So I started posting lots of positive things that we were up to, and I found that actually that was my biggest asset for building my business, was to start implementing social media more. And within 15 months I hit Blue Diamond from when I was about to quit the business. And so that is the power of social media. So I've been told not to get too clicker happy because I'm a little bit impatient. So hopefully we're going to be on the right slides. So social media is no different to how you would build your business face to face. It's just we can do everything so much quicker on a social media platform than going to individually have conversations with people. We can have multiple conversations going on at one time with so many people from around the world. It doesn't have to just be who is in your hometown or where you travel to. So when we first walk into a room, people make their judgment on you immediately within the first 7 seconds. So if we were going for a job interview, or we were going to a wedding, or somewhere social, we would make an effort with how we look because we want people to perceive us in a certain way. And this is no different for when you're on your social media platforms. So I'd just like you to think, what does your social media platform at the moment say about you? So your profile picture is that first impression. So I've got an example of my profile picture up there, and then one that we really don't like, because people buy into people before they've bought into the opportunity. So quite often people don't even know what we do, but they're attracted to you. So your profile picture needs to be a smiling photo of you. That goes a long way. We don't want pictures of your pets up there for your profile picture. That doesn't tell us anything about you. And unfortunately, even though I obviously have my little boy, we don't want to see children up there either. It has to be of you, that first impression. Your cover photo as well. So your cover photo actually is the only thing on Facebook that people can go back through. So with your profile picture, you can have your settings so people just see the profile picture that you're using at the moment. But with your cover photo, you can't. So any cover photos you've had on your social media, on your Facebook, people can go back through. So obviously we want to make sure that they're something powerful. As you can see, mine's because you're a sky full of stars, because this business is all about creating our Ruby stars. So that was perfect for our cover photo. And our bio. So we can create a bio on our social media platforms. Here you can see Hazel's Facebook one, and then my Instagram one. And on both of those, you can see that we have an opportunity. So we run a business, we're mums, and we have an opportunity for you. We keep it so simple for our audience. Nobody's confused by our social media profiles. You can see really simply that we have an opportunity to offer, and that is what you want to get across on your platforms. So how to post, and this is what I found when I started building my business through social media more. As I said, I was sharing positive things that me and my partner were up to, so when we were out somewhere nice, or if we were on a holiday, or if I was having a meeting somewhere in the sunshine, or I was working from home, we started sharing these things, and I realised how powerful it was, because people are so curious and intrigued to know what you're up to. So I've got a few examples here just on the screen, just from that I've taken from mine and Hazel's social media. And for example, I'm not sure if it's come up yet. So we've got Hazel on the plane with her partner Dan. She's saying that it's the first time she's been able to travel in premium. Well, people will be looking at that and thinking, what is that girl up to? Like, how is she getting to fly premium? I want to fly premium. Like, what is that all about? And that drives people to message Hazel and ask what the opportunity is all about. We have an image of our trip to Miami, where our success trip through this business, and we got there and there was products in our room that were given to us from the company. So I posted about that, and what other job do you have out there where you get sent on a free trip, and then when you get there there's amazing presents in the room for you? People want to know what you're up to when you post things like that. We have a couple of images where we're working on our laptops from home. I think my one says that I wasn't feeling great that day, and I was still being able to build my business from bed even though I was feeling unwell. In a traditional job, we would have to take a day off, or we'd still have to battle into the office and just, power through. People want to know, how can I work from my bed, from the comfort of my home? And then, of course, as mums, anything that we post where we're building our business with our children, that is so intriguing for women, especially, to have ultimate freedom when you're building your business with your child. All of these are examples of how we have driven people to come to us through attractive posts that we put on our social media platforms. So without even having to message anyone saying we have an opportunity, we have people come to us and say, wow, like, what is it that you do for work? Your life looks so amazing. I would love to be able to work like that. Is there an opportunity for me to get involved in? Of course there is. So I can just see the one of my little boy up there. So that was, I'm not sure which flight he was on, but he was on his 16th flight when we came out here. It's just over in the corner there. And, people want to know, like, wow, how can you travel with your children so many times around the world and create that perfect business balance with your family life as well? So, just moving on, that is attraction marketing, and the top tips that we have for that you need to be thinking about. And I'll just get through them so you can see them all at the same time. So the top tips are be real and be you. So don't imitate anybody. Quite often I see that somebody that's doing attraction marketing in the right way will then have their post copied so many times. Well, that is so unattractive, because if you've got a couple of mutual connections, they just see the same thing and it's a real turn off. So be inspired by people's posts, but don't imitate them. People can see completely through your post if it's not actually you, if it's not the wording, if it's not something that you would normally say. So be inspired by your posts, but then reword them to make them sound like you and something that you would post and that's relevant to your life. No negativity. This is so important. If you notice what I've already said a couple of times, is that the difference in my business came when I started posting positive things on social media. So positivity is key. That is what people are attracted to in a big way. Don't spoil your social media by having an off day and having a moan about it on social media, letting the world see it, because you've completely ruined all that work that you've put into building up a positive social media page. You just have to go and whinge and moan to your partner instead. And Alex gets that a lot. So if I have a bad day, Alex gets it in the ear. Well, I'm sure with Hazel and Dan, it's exactly the same. We keep it off our social media. You keep that positive always. Of course, we're normal people. We have bad days like anybody. We just don't let the world know about it. And a massive one for me is celebrate success. So this is something that I found I really held back with. People are so attracted if they see somebody having success and it's being shared. And you can have, and I'm sure everyone in the room can relate to this, when I say that how many people have had, put up a post and then they've had negativity from it, from people that they know, friends and family being jealous. Oh, why are you doing that pyramid scheme? And and posts like that, we don't believe in what you're doing. Are you still wasting your time with that? Just negativity from friends and family because you're celebrating your success. It is totally okay to celebrate success. I've lost some friends and family through building this opportunity. I 100% believe in it. And I always will think, are they really the people that I want to surround myself with anyway? If people can't be happy for you, not be happy for the success that you're getting in this business and how it's changing your life and how you're helping to change the life of other people? Are they really the people that you want to spend your time with? We are an average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So pick wisely, and if that means those people need to leave your life, then that is totally okay. And finally, would it appeal to you? So before you do a post on Instagram, whatever it is, Twitter, Facebook, you've just got to look and think, if I was looking at this post, would I be attracted to it? Is it something that I would want to look at? Would I be intrigued by that? And if the answer is no, don't post it. Write it until it is something that you would be attracted to. So I get asked all the time, how do I use my social media to invite? And there's some ways that we can indirectly invite through social media, so without actually messaging anybody, just through the posts that we do. So I've just used a small selection here of some of the really good ones. The one on the right-hand side was one of the ones that I did, connecting with all mums. That got a lot of interest. Obviously, there's so many mums out there that would love to be able to build a business from home around their children. And I just simply put there, connecting with mums, showing them how I built up a large online business throughout my pregnancy and now family life. If you're a mum or mum-to-be and would like to work from home, have more time, more finances, and more opportunity to travel, then message me for details. So, not inboxing anybody, I'm not sending scripted messages to people's inboxes, I'm just putting it out there that I have an opportunity and I would like to connect with mums. I think the middle one was the one that Hazel did, stop scrolling and start doing. I think our age range, which is called the millennials, spend 4 hours a day on social media scrolling. Why not start earning some money off of that? And so that's what she was saying there. And then the other one is we always do our posts with an image as well. That's so powerful. Quite often people don't really look at if you just have text. And you'll see in some of them there's like capital letters to draw the eye in. But the images are so powerful. So just looking for help. Does anybody know anyone that wants an extra income? I think you'll find it hard to find anyone out there that will say they don't want to find an extra income. So just putting it out there to people in a really subtle way really works. And finally, I think this is so key. So when we're building our business face-to-face, we know it's all about building relationships. But on social media, it is exactly the same. So if I have anybody inbox me and say, what is it that you actually do, I will never jump straight in with, this is what I do, this is what the opportunities are all about. I will strike up more conversation with them, so I'll ask them where they're from, what they currently do for work. Things that are relationship building questions, things where I can find out what their needs are and how we can help them. Because as Scott said, this is a people business. We are helping people. It's not just about how many recruits we can get, because if we don't know how we can help that person, we can't drive this business forward. So we're always asking relationship building questions. We're not spamming people on social media. So we're not sending hundreds and hundreds of scripted messages to loads and loads of people. We are just out there building relationships and keep it so simple. So I always say that if we're sending a message through social media, whatever you can see on your screen of your iPhone, that is as long as your message should be. It shouldn't be any longer than that. If people have to start scrolling through loads and loads of text, it's boring, it's off-putting, people lose track. If you can look at your phone and see a message and think, wow, I can just read that on my screen, it's short, it's simple, it's to the point, it's snappy. Again, that is what works and what we've found. So keep it really, really simple. I've not kept up with my key parts, so I'm just checking that I haven't missed anything. So using exactly the same principles as face-to-face, but using social media to speed things up. So as I said at the beginning, instead of going face-to-face, we can really grow this business fast and build strength in it quickly as well through using the social media. And I hope that this has helped give you a few ideas around attraction marketing, how to invite, and really some of my top tips on how to build a business.
So here you guys know Hazel Calvert. So let's roll a video first to introduce her.
What's going to make you stand out from someone else? What's going to make you different? I'm a big lover of attraction marketing, sharing my lifestyle through social media.
Hi everyone, I'm just checking in from sunny Portugal. It is amazing out here, and I'm just sitting here on the rocks reflecting, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity just to share with you a really big and brave decision that I made a few weeks ago. So the company that I'm currently with has allowed me to hand my notice to my 9-to-5 job. Wow.
Although I love being in the corporate world, that was my career family. I was moving up. It was brilliant in that sense. And then I had my son, and things just changed. And I thought I can't live a corporate lifestyle anymore and be away from my family and be the mum that has to have her son in before and after school club. I just couldn't do that anymore. No chance. 10 months ago, I was introduced to the business, and I was going to do something on the side of my normal job anyway, and I found this whitening toothpaste through social media, and I just thought, what is this? And I thought maybe I could sell this. I want to try it first and sell it alongside what I'm doing. And so the first time I really saw the opportunity, I remember sitting down, and they told me that it's built on helping people, and it's built on making sure people are building a successful business. I was like, this is the perfect opportunity for me. This is exactly what I was waiting for. It's so important to create curiosity. Sharing a pot of something, sharing a box of something doesn't sell. Results sell. And that's exactly what we do. We create that curiosity, we post before and after pictures of ourselves, not branded products, and people are like, what are you using to make your teeth do that, for example? Straight into an inbox. Or your skin is so smooth in that picture. What's that mask that brings all your blackheads out? What even is that? I haven't seen that before. And then asking questions, so you can build that relationship and you can say, you will absolutely love this. Let me tell you more about it. Whereas if I just post a picture of a product on there, people aren't going to be attracted to that. People aren't going to ask. Show people what it can do, and then it's a different story.
Everyone's having success in a different way, but for me, knowing that I can support my family, but yet I can still be a full-time mum, that's massive to me. Like that is what it's about.
Everyone looks at success in a different light. My personal success, being at home with my family, I've ticked that box. I've done what I wanted to achieve, and I'm going to be there. It makes me a better mum because I have more time. So as before, when I was working a 9-to-5, I could just say I'm having the morning and we go to the farm together. Whereas I get to do that now. We get to spend so much more time together, and I don't miss out on anything. And he might not know that now, but as he grows up, he'll know Mum's always been around, and if I ever meet her, she's always been there, and I find that so precious. What started with an opportunity has absolutely just become a passion now. And for me, it's just that passion to help others.
If I can do it, you absolutely can do it. And I say to everyone, like, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Whatever you think is right. So I feel better now that I've told people I'm leaving my 9-to-5 job for something absolutely huge. But I have to go anyway, but take care, bye.
It's just so weird because obviously we've lived our story, so I've been in the business just over a year, but then when you actually see it again, it's really, really tearful. And I'm not actually going to share my story right now, as I want to give you a lot of value and a lot of content, but what I will say, exactly what Scott touched on, is that this iPhone here, I built a Blue Diamond in 6 months on my phone. I couldn't afford a laptop, I couldn't afford an iPad, I was busy working 9-to-5, I was a mum that was struggling. We was in debt, I was juggling everything, we had no spare time, and for me, I utilised this here. So I'm just going to share with you just my few tips. So, right, I'm going to click happy as well, so let's see what happens here. So, the first thing I want to touch on is how to present products online, okay? Because there's a good way to do it and there's a bad way to do it. What me and my team have done is we really utilised realise the different channels that actually Facebook have for us, so this will make more sense as we go along. So the first thing is personalisation and branding. So let me just set the scene a little bit here while these three key parts are uploading. So for example, look at me. I am a customer, okay? And I would really, really want to buy that crazy mud mask that I've seen online. Every single person in this room can offer me that mud mask. So why am I going to pick you, okay? This is what I mean about how we personalise things. We have to add value, you have to stand out and start creating your identity as well, because that is what's going to make you stand out in what could be something that's quite crowded, okay? So I'm going to share exactly what we do. So this is one of my beautiful ladies within the business, and she's created her own little branding that's called I Am Shop. Now, it's on new skin products, okay? Of course it is. But she brands it because she wants to stand out, she wants to add value, and she even makes like little loyalty cards for her team. You can see it on there as well. She gives little lollipops, can you see at the bottom? This is so easy to do. It's so easy to do. She personalises it and she brands it. Has everyone got a picture of that? Perfect. So, next of all is I want to talk about customer groups. Do people understand groups on Facebook? Because I know some do, some don't. So I'm going to show you what we do within our customer groups. Now I find when I talk about customer, I get so passionate about customer. My 9-to-5 job was all about customer engagement, customer development, how we can improve customer service within stores in my 9-to-5. This was my job, and I absolutely love this, because we would not be here if we didn't have customers. So we need to start treating our customers really, really well. And when you have a customer, make sure you follow up with your customer. Think of it as if you wanted to sponsor someone into the business, you present to them, and then you follow up with them. This is no different with your customers. They want a product, you offer them the product, they have the product, and then you follow up with them. Really, really simple here. People buy from people. Now, if you see at the bottom, I put forget B2B, which means business to business. Forget about B2C, which means business to consumer. It is about H to H, and that means it's about human to human. This is a people business, okay? Customer service is not a department, it is absolutely an attitude, and we all have to have that strong attitude. Because like I said, everything starts with the customer. So again, this is another lady within my team, and she has her own customer group on Facebook. So you can have groups on Facebook. You can have open groups, closed groups, and secret groups, okay? And this is really great to put your friends in a group. I have people say to me, I don't want to come across spammy on Facebook. I don't want to overload my Facebook. The first thing I say to them is, one, that isn't possible to do because Facebook don't allow you to do that. What you're putting out there on your post only reach about 7% of your friends list. So you need to create a lot of engagement. That's the first thing I say. And the second one I say, if that's how they feel, is have a customer group. Your customers go in there. And this lady is absolutely incredible. She posts videos that, even if you're not interested within the business, the products, you would just be laughing. You just fall in love with her. It's like, it's insane what she does. So I'm just trying to read there. So can you ever see that's a pumpkin, by the way? Yeah. Just so you can think, what is that? And she put the mud mask on a pumpkin, and honestly, just the engagement that she gets, it is about creating engagement with your customers. I love what she does. So I don't want to go too much into customer groups, but this is a really, really key way to build your base. So has anyone seen Hazel's Beauty Box on Facebook? So this is what I use. This is a business page that is on Facebook, and I'm very, very good with how I separate the areas where I'm going to put it in. And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to share our daily habits, so what me and the team do, so how many posts and what we do with it. But why I love this is that this isn't easy to build these business pages, okay? So the first thing I'll say is don't expect to start a business page, you get 20 to 100 likes, and you're wondering why there are no orders coming through, okay? This takes a long time to build this up. You have to be consistent with it. You have to create engagement, and I find the best way to create engagement is through your videos. So the one on the end is actually the one we just saw earlier when I was in Portugal, and you just share on here. That is all you do. Everything I'm saying here, it is so simple, okay? It's not easy, it's hard work, but it is so simple. You have a routine, you have your daily tasks, and you be consistent with it. So track your audience. Let me just get all these up for you. So Anne-Marie touched on being real and being used. Don't copy and paste things. You might find inspiration from someone, which is perfect, but tweak it to your personality. So timings as well. And if anyone heard of Hootsuite? So if you lead quite a busy lifestyle and you're still working in a 9 to 5, you could be like me, who was a 9 to 5, a mum, absolutely here, there, everywhere, not really with it half the time. There are platforms out there that are free where you can schedule all your posts. So you can have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hootsuite is one of them. You schedule it, you time when you want it to go out, you go to work, and throughout the day it is releasing them for you. Utilise what we have online. So when I say what works for you and your audience, really track things. So the UK has recently, apparently, just coming out of a recession, okay? It's been quite tough times. There isn't a lot of money going around there, but people still like nice things. And the job that I was in was all about how customers are shopping, what the trends are, mystery shopping, all about customer. So when I joined this business, straight away, I knew what the trends were in the UK. So for example, Amazon was absolutely destroying all the UK retailers on the high street, okay? Because everyone was moving onto the internet. So when I came into this business, I thought, I'm going to do exactly the same thing as Amazon have done. I'm going to create a platform where people can go online and they can have products, they can have a business opportunity, and make it really simple for them. So I want to have a little bit of fun here and get a bit of energy into the room. So we have taken a few posts. This is from within my organisation. So we do things that we need to tweak sometimes. It is a complete learning process. So I just want to judge whether you think this is a good post, bad post, ugly. What do you think? Does it work? So let's get the first one going. Okay, if you scrolled this on Facebook, would you want this? Let's be serious. That's not engaging. That's not giving anything away. It's not even saying someone's using it. It is so boring to look at, and I hate it's got -30%. That just devalues everything that we do. We don't want to do that. That is not what we want to do. Far from it. It's crazy. So let's say that's the bad post, yeah? That's bad, that's ugly. We don't like that. So next, can you see? Okay. So I actually really like this post, as it creates curiosity and it makes you think, what is that? I'm very intrigued. But I say it's a good post. It's not amazing, but I'm still intrigued what it is. So I'm going to show you what we actually think does work. Right, this crazy lady within the team. Okay, this is not a sales post, right? She isn't once saying, I'm selling green tea capsules. This is the price of it. She isn't once putting that. You can see she's a very energetic lady. She's got capsules in her hand, and all she needs to put is the benefits. And this is another thing that I want to touch on, is when you're talking about products online, even if you are face-to-face, always talk about the benefits, okay? Don't just copy and paste what's online. Say the benefits. And for example, if you wanted to buy a camera, okay, and someone said to you, this camera is 20 megapixels, I would be like, okay. But if someone said to me, this camera is going to give you a really clear and crisp photo that you can keep for your family memories, that is the benefit. I'm hooked to the benefit. I'm not hooked to exactly what it is, I want the benefit. And it's exactly the same with products. Talk about the benefit, that's all you need to do. Let's have a couple more. Can you see this? Oh my goodness. Why? Don't put prices on Facebook, okay? We don't need to do that. I think this is even one mug mask selling at just £17.50, which by the way is below priced in the UK. And the toothpaste, £6.50, normally £10. Good, bad or ugly? Really, really ugly. I wouldn't buy this if I saw that. That does nothing for me. So let's have a look at the next one. Good, bad or ugly? Would you want to buy this? Do you even know what it is? Is it even interesting? Copy and paste, screenshot, boring. But this is actually the same post as what we just saw, okay? So previous was about the tinted moisturisers. This is exactly the same, tinted moisturiser. And it is so intriguing because it's her, it's real, she's being true to herself, she has the product there, her skin looks absolutely gorgeous. And again, when she's actually writing about it, she hasn't once said that she's selling it, that it's this price. Also put it's well worth the money, and she's put about the benefits it's done for her. And I think that generated her about 20 sales of a tinted moisturiser from doing that. So just remember the good, bad and the ugly when you're posting. Kind of like Emma said, review what you are posting, okay? You put it out there, don't press that post button and say, if I saw that online, would I be intrigued to know more about it? Not buy, would I be intrigued to know more about that product? And if it's a yes, then you hit that post button. If it's a no, then you don't send it. Review everything that you put out there. So the next one I want to touch on is training online and leadership as well. So Facebook, I have really, really utilised this. So when I touch on customer groups for customer, I have, and so does Emma, we have our team training pages, our support groups, all on Facebook. I post files in there, I post videos. We really get just, it feels like a community, it feels like we belong there. And this works so, so well to build. Right, I did press the button, but nothing's happening. I'll press it again. No one shout. Okay. So you can stay connected on here, and it's all about sharing, okay? If something works for you, then we share it to the team to do. You can put team updates on there. You don't need to wait for a conference call. You don't need to wait for your fortnightly or weekly meeting. Anything comes up, you can put it on there. So we absolutely sell out of the green tea capsules in the UK. So we're always like, when are they back in? When are they back in? And our first point of call when they come back in goes into our team pages. It gives instant communication. And that is what this business is built on. You need to communicate with your customers, you need to communicate with your distributors, you need to communicate with your actions. It is all about communication. Stay connected. If you have a team, hands up who has sponsored at least one person to this business. At least one person. Okay, there should be a lot of people who go translation and speak a little bit more. Okay, you're a leader now, okay? You've sponsored one person into this business. This makes you a leader now. This is a time where you need to step up. And I get really, really frustrated when you have sponsors into the business and you treat them like a number, okay? It's not about that whatsoever, okay? Amateurs recruit people. You have your posers, they get people, and you have your professional network marketers that help people. And let's be really honest, within this business, have you ever felt that you were bothering someone when you wanted to talk to them about the opportunity or product? I have felt that. I have felt like, I don't want to say anything to them, so I feel like I'm bothering them. And that is because I had an amateur mind. I was recruiting people. When you switch that mindset to helping someone, how can you ever bother someone if you were helping them? It's not possible. Always have that mindset. You're a professional network marketer, and just touching on that, I'm really going off topic here, but be proud to be a network marketer. Not enough people are proud of what we do. Are you a proud network marketer? You can do better. Are you a proud network marketer? And again, are you a proud network marketer? So you need to go out there and you need to tell everyone exactly what you do. And guess what? Because you're doing that, guess what happens? Duplication happens, and then your team become proud of what they're doing, and then they recruit, and then it becomes normal. That is the process. Be proud of exactly what you do. Go with the attitude that you are here to help people into this business. You're not here, you're not a hunter, you're going to try and get numbers, you're here to help people in there. And within these training groups online, this is exactly what you can share to your team. It makes duplication so much easier. Share your way. I have a document that I created that is get to a set in 30 days. Straight into my team group, people follow it, and then we have executives popping up here, there and everywhere. Be really, really clever with exactly what you're doing. Okay, so that's the training groups there. I've already gone through that bit. So I'm going to go through this quite slowly, as this is when someone joins the business, this is really basic, okay? So everyone in this room needs to step this up from what you see on here, okay? If someone's new, the new set of marketing, they need some daily tasks to get set. I post this in my team group. It's literally a one-pager. They follow it. They have tick boxes. They tick every day that they've done it, hold them accountable for it. They can see if they're on track or not. So the first mistake is you have to talk to at least 10 new people a day. And sometimes, I don't mean about the business, but you're creating 10 new relationships every single day. Online, it's very easy to do that. You can reconnect with past friends from school anyway. You can drop someone a message and say, I love them shoes, by the way. Where did you get them from? 10 new people a day, okay? Don't go in with business head, go in with relationship head and people, and it will slowly, gradually build from there. So next is at least 3 Facebook posts a day. Let's scrap that, double it. You guys can easily double this, okay? 6 posts a day. Be real, be you. 2 about the product. And I don't mean I'm selling products. Like the nice, good pictures that we saw, you want to talk about 2 products a day. 2 opportunity a day. So like Emma showed you with attraction marketing, that is classed as opportunity posts, okay? There are recruitment sponsoring posts as such. That's your attraction marketing. You want to do them. And you want to post something motivational, whether it's a quote, what you feel, whether you see it from somewhere else. I follow a lot of really inspiring people on Facebook. I follow all their pages, and I might just share some of their bits as well. This is all really, really easy to keep track of. It's not going to take up much of your time, but over a long period, you're going to get fantastic results from it. So if you have a business page, again, you want to be consistent. We don't need to do 3, we can do 6 easy, okay? 6 posts a day on your business page. You need to create that engagement, which is going to allow Facebook to boost your posts even more for your audience to see. And then team chat. So those building on Facebook, team chats are really, really useful and helpful, okay? Because it feels like people have somewhere to go for a question, and if you're not around, because there's people in that team chat, everyone helps each other out, and you really do become just like a team. So in the morning, what I do is I'll post something that set me up for the day, and I'll post that into there, so we're duplicating down all the time. So that's the same one. Okay, this is really powerful, this one, okay? And out of all of them, I want you to take this away the most, so because I'm all about celebrating success. So every morning, before you do anything, before you do your emails, you do your messages that are on Facebook, wherever they are, I want everyone to start doing this, because this gives you really good vibes, and it sends your team good vibes as well. So 3 people within your downline, not first line, within your organisation, doesn't matter who, send them a message, whether it's a well done message, if they're new, a welcome message, whether you just want to introduce yourself to them, just let them know, hey, I'm here to support you, it's great connecting with you, or if you've seen something that you think, that's really inspired me, just tell your team that, okay? Just communicate with them, because these little things, every single day, are really going to benefit and build. And guess what happens? They see something, you get a message through, they feel that recognition, and then they post it on their Facebook as well. And again, it's like you're going around in circles. That's creating the opportunity, questions come in. What's this person doing? I don't get recognised like that in my 9-to-5 job. It's just that cycle. So out of everything, make sure you're doing this every single morning. Okay, we all know this, but I know people don't do this. Your self-development is so, so key. So let's be honest, hands up, who does at least 15 minutes self-development a day? Be really, really honest. Okay, that's good, it's good you're being honest. You need to do your self-development, okay? It is so key to be doing this, whether it's YouTube, whether you're reading, meditation. For me, my self-development is actually reflection. I'm actually quite an introverted person, believe it or not. People don't believe me when I say that. And I have to have time out. I have to be on my own, and I have to sit there, and I have to reflect. It is so important to me that I have that self-development. That is my self-development there. So I think that comes to the end here. So look at your goals. Let me just double check. Okay, I think this is the end. So, yes, my timing is good. I usually run over time. This is good. So, all I want to end on is if you follow exactly what me and Emma have shown you today, okay, this is nothing extraordinary. It is literally what we have done, daily tasks, daily habits, every single day that has built up. Utilise your network. There is around 8 billion people on this planet, 2.1 billion active social media accounts. Now there's two ways you can look at this. No, it's moving, thanks Jeff. There's two ways you can look at this, okay? Is that 2.1 billion Facebook accounts, social media accounts, you can see that as, yeah, they're just Facebook accounts, or you can see that as 2.1 billion contacts, 2.1 billion people that you can help with an opportunity. So, get really emotional saying that. So, always go in with that you want to help people. And I just want to end it, okay? That people say, fake it till you make it. I don't believe in that. I say believe it till you make it, okay? And if you remember, believe it till you make it. And if you remember that you are a student first and a mentor second, amazing things will happen. Because I have people say to me, but what happens when I make it? Then do I stop believing? I'm like, you haven't listened to what I've said. You're a student first. You're never going to know anything. You're always going to be learning, so you're always going to be believing. So just keep that on board. We are students first, we are always learning, and then we are mentors second, and we duplicate down. And I find Emma's story really, really powerful, and I think a lot of people can relate to it, is that we do have tough times. It does get hard. We have days where we question things. And just remember, there is no shame to fall. The shame is not getting back up, okay? So when you have them bad days, remember your why. Your why needs to be bigger than your whole purpose, and you keep going, you never give up, you follow your daily tasks, and then whether it's 2, 3, 4 years, if it takes 10 years, 20 years to get Blue Diamond, it is worth it, right? Yeah. Totally worth it. Never give up. Always keep focused. So I think that is the end of our session.
I've just been out building business on the Canary Islands, so I was hashtagging Tenerife, Canary Islands, business opportunity, working mum and things like that. And while I was out there, I've got people direct messaging me from those islands saying, what is it that you're doing? I'd love to find out about your opportunity. And that draws people into our business through the hashtags.
I think that it's really important to have a collaboration partner because you both bounce ideas off each other, you know. You both have an experience with all these products or whatever it is that you're doing, but they're totally different. So I think that it comes with just who you're interacting with, who you watch, what kind of things you're exposed to every day. So I try to pay really close attention to who I'm following and what ideas they bring to the table.
I know you don't want to turn on that video camera and talk. I know that. Like, I get that. Like, I understand, you know, maybe your hair doesn't look right today, maybe, you know, you gotta sit, I don't know. Like, I get that, especially, and I've had to get over myself on this, especially when we're dealing with, you know, skincare and healthy. So you're like, if I don't look tip-top, I cannot do a video. But you know what? That is not real life.
Actually, when someone tells me no, and I'm not Facebook friends with them, I will go add them as a Facebook friend. So then they will then be watching now. So it's almost like a follow-up process from afar. So I always make it a point that once I've finished talking to somebody, whether it's a yes or a no, they are added to my social media connections.
Communication is it's key. You have to communicate. And it's quite funny, this whole business is built on talking to people, and the number one fear people have is talking to people. It's crazy, but it's true, and it's just, we need to eliminate that. And so I found when I do have my team members that are joining, they're still finding their feet, they're still understanding the basics of network marketing, but they are actually sponsoring still, and I always advise them, get a team chat going in WhatsApp, in Facebook, Messenger, whatever it may be, because you and your 3 or 4 other people that you've got, if you have that chat, someone's going to feel that they've got somewhere to go to and they feel a part of something.
I think that people will be skeptical, and like I said before, it's an industry or just starting something, it's going to be hard from even for myself, I went from 9 to 5 to entrepreneur to new skill. That scared me, but I want to know what I'm getting into, right? So if I'm able to take a peek at someone who's actually doing it for a long time, like 2 or 3 years, how their life is running, I can imagine like, oh, I can change my life into that too, right?
And you just saw a little clip from everyone who's going to be on our panel today. So I want to invite our panel up. Hazel and Emma, come back up. Rebecca is here. She's going to be with us. Megs and Holly, come up. And we have Ben on Skype with us today because he isn't here. So yes, give Ben a warm hello. Okay, so see if I can do all of this at once. All right, we're going to start with Emma. If you come with me. So Emma, what advice do you have in helping people transition to social media?
Okay, so there's a few tips I have. My number one is if you aren't currently using social media at the moment, so you have quite a lot of groundwork to do in creating your social media platforms, go and find other people that do like to use social media and start building your business that way, because there's so many people out there that love social media, so go and find them while you're creating your platforms. Do not change your page into a selling page. I think Hazel touched on this. It's so off-putting when all of a sudden people don't use social media and they start flooding their page with toothpaste and mud mask pictures and a galvanic spa. We need to be really clever with how we post, and I think Hazel covered that really well with the set posts that we should do. Also, know your audience. So when I first joined, I looked at their biophotonic scanner and I thought, oh, that's amazing. I will go and connect with loads of personal trainers. Well, I'm not a personal trainer and I don't know that much about it, and I also don't know that much about health things, and it just wasn't working for me. What did work was connecting with other mums-to-be, other people that, other females that have had their own business, that have worked in the corporate world. So all the things that I've done, I just connected with other women like that, and that's when my business really built. So just know what your audience is in your network. And just a few tips on posting if you're transitioning over is, Hazel said 3 good posts a day, or you can double it to 6. That's on Facebook, but actually on Instagram, you can actually post up to 15 times a day without being annoying to your audience, and on Twitter, an average of 21 times a day, I think. So that is how much we can post and connect with people on social media a day as standard. So just those few tips if you're transitioning over.
Thank you. Yes, my mic is back on. Thank you. Okay, let's pass the mic down to Megs next. All right. If you guys don't follow Megs on Snapchat, you need to, because she is hilarious. So she's going to talk to us about how she creates fun and engaging content in social media.
Okay, so one point that I want to make initially is that regardless of what platform you are posting on or where you feel most comfortable, your personality is what carries your brand. So, and it's important to lead with authenticity, right? And like Emma stated in the beginning, and Hazel, it's really important to not carry every other person's post that you see onto your own platforms. So creativity is key, and all of that starts from within, right? We all have different experiences with products. We all have different hobbies. So regardless of what platform you're on, it's really important to lead with authenticity. So if you are not a really funny person, I don't really consider myself to be a super funny person, but I just like to have fun with the products. And so if you don't think that that's a strong suit, don't try too hard to be funny, right? Because people are going to see that as inauthentic, and then it's going to be all awkward. And so wherever your favorite platform is, start there and learn that platform. And also with me, for my favorite platform is Snapchat, there's so many ways that you can repurpose content. So creativity for me comes in repurposing. And what does that mean? So with Snapchat, you're given the ability to create a story.
So say you want to create a story on how you use specific products, you can do that in a story of a compilation of 10-second videos and still shots as well, where you can incorporate funny filters and changing the colors and speeding the video up to make it, you know, funny, or just to give it a different look, writing on the photos, painting, texting. And with that, you save that to your camera roll, and now you have something that you can add to Facebook, you have something you can add to Instagram. And now all of the images across all your platforms are different, right? Because one thing that you don't want to be is the same person across every platform. So with Twitter, you can incorporate that still shot on a Twitter card. And now you have something a little bit more interesting than just 140 characters, right? You now have a photo that speaks a lot more volume to your followers. And yet on Instagram, change that photo to something else and engage a different type of audience, because your followers are going to be different on every platform, right? And then same with Instagram, Pinterest, or I'm sorry, Facebook or Pinterest, wherever your favorite platforms are. So what I do is I incorporate all of my experiences daily, what I do on a daily basis, into those platforms. So maybe it's, you know, where my favorite restaurant is, or where I'm traveling to that weekend, and kind of creating like a curiosity behind the scenes. I love to interview total strangers. I think that's so fun. And these are things that people don't expect from you, right? So just kind of step out of your comfort zone and find, you know, connecting with people that are not in new skin, that maybe are entrepreneurs and they do maybe network marketing in other companies, and gain inspiration from those people and use that, not to copy them, but just to, you know, incorporate, you know, however that resonates with you in your own life, you know, however you travel, or maybe you have a favorite pet, which I incorporate my pet into my Snapchat story, and I think he's more famous than anything else that I do. But people come to watch because I have churro time. The churro is my little chihuahua, but guess what else they're gonna see? They're gonna see my crazy green face mud mask week, and, you know, the new mascara that we have and how I use that product. And I'm not trying to be salesy, so I really want to like stress that to you guys. Is like, being salesy is just, I mean, it's not something that I find is, you know, that I think is comfortable for me in my setting. But community is commerce. So regardless of whether, you know, you're selling a product or you're sharing your experience, you're building a community, and that's really what people are going to be drawn to. Is this girl is authentic, she's fun, she's also interested in what I'm doing, so engagement back and forth. And, you know, she's just being real about what she does, and you're not coming across as, hey, buy my product, you know, it's, you know, 30% off today. I never ever do any of that. So I think for me, it's just important to create, you know, from the heart with your authenticity, and then find what platform suits you best and what products you love the most. Because however you use those products, that experience is just going to come across real to your audience, and you don't have to try too hard. There's really no need for that. So.
Thank you. Okay, next we're going to hear from Holly. I just need to preface this really fast before she answers her question. I'm sorry, I'm going to embarrass Holly. Probably not, because it's so awesome. She was invited by Facebook when they launched Facebook Live, and she's actually going by invitation with Facebook next week again to Facebook Live with them. So she's going to talk to us about how Facebook Live changes the way we do business. And she is an amazing blogger, and I want you to just talk about where a blog would fit in with this. When does content need to have like a place and a full life?
Yeah, so Facebook Live is something that was launched to us about a month ago. Celebrities and verified pages had it before that. But you have it on your profile, you have it on your business page, and then you have it in any groups that you have. And so I found out on Friday at about 5 o'clock that I had it, and I was live at 5:30. And the reason is because I have a Facebook page that I haven't been able to talk to for the entire time I've had it. And all of a sudden, we are given the power to talk directly to the people that follow us. And that is such a powerful thing because it's not just broadcasting anymore because they're interacting. And so, and I love that you put my speech about nobody feels, has anyone felt comfortable on video from the very beginning? No one, and I don't even like to watch it, I don't like to hear myself, like I don't even like it because it's just uncomfortable to put yourself out there like that, but you can't learn live video without doing live video. Like I would love to say, go into your closet and just turn on the, no, you gotta go live, guys. And the thing is the first 20, 30, 40, you'll wanna delete, but don't. Because the process of learning is real and you'll get better at it every single time. And the cool thing is we're trying to do things that are duplicatable. And if you start out as an expert in any of these areas, which is nearly impossible, it's not going to work well for your team to duplicate what you're doing. But the reason why I'm so attracted to live video, and the reason why I turned it on the first day, despite the fact that I nearly had a heart attack, I was like in my backyard just going, please, someone show up, is that we are busy. We're super busy. And I'm not very good technical, so I hate editing. I hate, like if I have to edit it, it's not going to get done. Live, you turn on it, like it gives you a 3-second countdown, you're live. And then you don't have to do anything with it afterwards. It's there. And the other thing that's really good about live on a Facebook page is that once you're done live, it's going to live on your video page. And so your followers will have that content to come back and refer to. But the most exciting thing, because we talked about earlier how your fans are going to see about 7% of your Facebook posts, you are priority when you are live in every single one of your fans that are online stream. There's nothing like this in the history of Facebook, except when Facebook was just, whatever came the way. But since the algorithms have come into place, this is so powerful for us because all of a sudden we can reach out and touch 100% of the people that happen to be online at that time. And then as people can subscribe, so that then they'll get a notification when you go live in the future. And it's just a very, very powerful thing that, do it. Like this afternoon, go live, please. So I am a blogger, that's where I started, and that's what I do professionally. And I think one of the reasons why I love blogging is it's just another way to tell your story. And so if you're finding that a social media platform isn't allowing you to tell the full story, then I think that's where blogging really comes in. And then also, it's a lot easier to leverage Pinterest when you have a site to send them to. So I think if Pinterest is kind of like your wheelhouse, real visual, beautiful images, kind of aspirational type images, then a blog is a really nice counterpart to that.
Mike keeps turning off. Well, I turned the mic off because I don't want feedback. Thank you, Holly. Perfect. And no lies. Listen to her. Okay, Rebecca is going to talk to us about how do you balance doing the business face-to-face and in social media? How's it different and how is it the same? Kind of that balance in the two worlds.
Yeah, so this was something I struggled with at first when I was starting into social media. And social media is actually how I was attracted to the business. So it's kind of come full circle. And I first built the business off of social media, but then the social attraction marketing concepts was what started to take place, like you heard Hazel and Emma talk about. As I was starting to travel and I was taking success trips and these pictures started showing up on Facebook, I would start to get reached out to by people, some of them close to me, some had been people I prospected early on, and some of them I had never seen a like or a comment from, but they've been watching. And they reached out and asked what I did. And so my concept of what I do when I get a message is I do a lot like what you heard Hazel do and Emma is I don't go spam them and say, oh, this is what I do, da 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 da. And I go more into what do you do? How long have you done it? Do you see yourself staying there in the next couple of years? And you ask those questions to really find where the pain is, Why are they asking you? Are they just asking you because they want to go on a trip? Or are they asking you because they're looking for another stream of income and a new lifestyle? And so then when I've asked those questions and I ask them if they're open based on their answers, and if the answer is yes, my question is, okay, what is a good time and number to reach you at? And I like to take it offline at that point and get voice to voice with them. And because to me, I'm much more in the voice. You can feel the passion and the energy of somebody. And so that's what's worked for me is I take it offline and then I get on the phone with them. I say, nice to meet you finally. And we go through the process of getting them some information from there. And then that allows me to then, the next step is bring in validation. So that's how I piece it together, but it's very similar, social and offline, and so I call it online, offline. It is similar in the fact that you are wanting to invite somebody, right? That's one of the steps in the process and the workflow is you want to invite somebody. Then you invite them to a presentation and you present to them in whatever format that is. And a lot of it, I built my business on webinars. So it has been online for the most part because like most of us, I feel like, I like social media for the fact that I don't have to talk to very many people face to face because that's not my personality either. I was an accountant for a reason before Nu Skin. So anyway, that's not my personality to reach out and walk and talk to people. And so you do the invite, you do the present and the follow-up. And so taking it offline allows me to go through that process and bring in validation, which I think is very, very key. And how it's different is there are some people that you can't get on the phone because they live in another time zone or another continent, and so it's very, very hard. And some of the time the relationship hasn't been built. And so some of that time they're going, okay, I want to know what you're doing, but they're not willing to give that personal information yet. And so you have to kind of take a step back and build some more rapport with them at that point. I still don't like to give a lot of information at that point because to me, that's telling me they're not totally open yet. They haven't built enough of a rapport watching me to trust me with their personal phone number, in my opinion. So where it's different is you have to find that balance of what works for you. And like you've heard all of us say, is you have to know you and you have to know your audience. And so I have not been branded as a product person. I've been branded as a millennial that loves to travel, does not like the corporate world, does not work in the corporate world anymore, athletic, comes from that background. And so that's my brand, and that's who my audience is. And so you have to know what you are reaching out to and not force something on somebody that is not them. Just like you've heard all of us say, is know that audience. And so that's what I'd say.
Thank you, that was perfect. Okay, next we're going to Hazel. So Hazel, when you first, I've heard you talk about this, when you first talk to people on social media about the business, how do you gauge their interest?
Yeah, this is one of my favourite questions. So I'd say listen, but maybe read is the right word. I really read into people's words, so this is going to make more sense as I go along. So I look for 3 types of people when it's about the business, so actually sponsoring people into the business. And I look for distributors, those that just want to retail products, nothing else. I then look for people that could be like executive distributors, if that makes sense. So they're not really at that level where they want to build, but they have a really good network and there's going to be a lot of products coming through, but they still haven't developed yet. And then I look for my executive leaders. Now, when I'm talking to people, just as we have all said, it's about building that relationship, and like when you said, like finding the pain as well, because that's what it's about. And you can really get to know someone very quickly by just asking them questions. And how I determine where they fit into these 3 categories as such is I find that distributors, when whether it's messaging online, they'll use the words "I'll try," and when people say "I'll try," I think they're not there just yet. When I'm messaging people and they say the words that "I'll do my best," I know that they can be a very powerful executive, maybe a distributing executive. And then when people say to me, "I'll do what it takes," I know that they are the key people that I need to work really close with, and we can build an amazing empire together and help a lot of people. So, like I say, everything when I present,
Keep it really, really simple. You want 3 types of people: distributors, executive distributors, and your executive leaders, okay? Listen to them. There's a reason why we have 1 mouth and 2 ears. You ask the questions and then you listen. And then you can determine exactly where they're going to fit, and it makes your role easier with how to help them. So when I have someone that just wants to distribute, I know not to overload them with, you can do this, and then we can go and do that, let me tell you about the conversation plan. They're not there yet. So it makes my job easier as such, what conversations we need to have, and I can see their journey, and I know when they're transitioning in and what they're going to need to know next. Keep it really simple.
Thank you, Hazel. Okay, we're going over to Ben, who is Skyped in with us. Ben, why is it so important to be authentic in social media?
Hey guys, so I did my recruiting mostly on social media as well, and when I first started, it was just like really hard because like guiding businesses is really hard to replicate. So I had to post a lot of my stuff on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and being authentic is the most important thing because like most of you know you personally know that you have to be you, and from that people will know you, and especially in network marketing, they want to know if this is real or if this is a scam. So people actually follow you for a long time. So personally, I have an experience where one of my roommates followed me for a year, and he read my stuff for a year nonstop. But the thing is, he didn't like my stuff. He never followed me or anything. He just kept reading. So I didn't know that he's actually reading my stuff until they approached me and direct messaged me and like, hey, can I meet you and try to talk about the news game and tell me more. But by then, he pretty much knew about my life inside and out, and that was kind of scary. But it was still okay because that was the point of my social media, is to let people know how my new lifestyle after a 9-to-5 job, entering into this what would that be like. So from that movie, he's actually in Toronto when I first met him, and I was in Vancouver. And I went over to Toronto finally to meet him, and then after a while, he recruited another person through social media and back to Vancouver. So I think this story is very interesting. It's where through social media, there's no boundaries, but it can all link together where like you can all tie together in one place. And I think that being real is the most important thing, because once if they meet you in person and they find that it's not exactly what you post online, then it's a really turn off. It's kind of like another scam, or it's just so fake, right? So whatever you post, if you're a mom, just be a mom. If you're still in a 9-to-5, like tell people that you're still in 9-to-5, that you have a dream or your family have for that can ultimately get you out of this 9-to-5 job. So being authentic is one of the key things, so that people know you, and through that they can know new skin, and through new skin they can know business and whatever they can find within its product they know or its business.
Thank you, Ben. Okay, we have time for some questions from the audience. So, Brandon is going to bring the mic around. I don't know if you need a mic.
Yeah, I probably don't.
But maybe for the back of the
room. For the people in the back. Hello, everybody. Grant Chapman, Honolulu Holy. So my question was for social media. I know you guys mentioned about a group page. When you mentioned about a customer group page and a team group page. So I have the team group page, but I've noticed getting the team to put content is very interesting to do. And then I love your idea about creating a customer page. Now, is it 2 separate pages, or do you have one page where you just let everybody kind of throw willy-nilly on there?
Yeah, sure. So Emma might want to add on as well at the end. So there are 2 separate ones. I have a customer and my team page as well. And it's funny you said that, as I believe in trial and error everything. And when I first had my team group, anyone could write in there. It was becoming overrun. People were asking to me basic questions like, how much is the toothpaste, how much is the mud mask, can we get the galvanic, in the 7-day deal? Really basic questions. So what I did first of all, the top 5 questions that I had, I put into a new starter video, and I didn't answer any questions until people had watched that video. Then I knew that they knew where to find, how to log in, where to find price files, things like that. But I still noticed it's becoming very overrun, so what I did is I made it that it's an admin-only post page, so only me and 5 admins can post content in there as well. And then that's really valuable content because you're getting, 6 really good leaders sharing what they're doing, adding files, adding things that they've found help, sharing videos they've found on YouTube, anything like that. So now it's an admin-only posting in there. Is there anything else that you want to add or something like the same?
Yeah, absolutely, exactly what Hazel said. And just the other thing, obviously Hazel said she did hers in a video, and in my one it's just got like a main question answer post. So all the common stuff we have is just in a list. If you're not really a video person yet, then you can do in a list form, and then other people can add to it. But exactly the same, don't let people overrun your page, and you make sure you approve everything in.
So what I'm receiving is actually the opposite. A lot of our groups actually get them to post. Like if I don't give incentives, a lot of the group, they just don't even think about posting on the group page, honestly. And even me, like I don't think about going to my group pages. It's usually the lifestyle and branding.
I'm sure that most of us would say the same. And if people aren't being interactive, then maybe they aren't the right people. And you'll find that the people that really get the opportunity will interact with you. So just maybe they're not the right people yet.
Perfect. And last question for the customer one. What do you do for your customer page?
So the customer groups that we have, my team are actually always find people that are better than you, and they're way better at this than what I do. So they'll just be more interactive with things, and they'll share like customer testimonials in there, any feedback that they've got. They'd still post in there, but they make it more engaging. Whereas on like our normal Facebook, we're more careful with what we're putting, as it's very public. In our customer group, we're much more, they're closer knitted, more engaging, they're sharing more like demos of things. So what me and Emma do, we create curiosity. We don't mention new skin or anything like that, as we want people to go, what is that company? That looks amazing. Whereas in our customer groups, we do openly talk about products. We do openly talk about what the products are, and the names and the company name and everything. So it's just much more of a community than public isn't as much so, if that helps.
You have another question?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Andy Tran. I'm from Maryland, D.C. I would like to say thank you for doing this. You've taught me a lot. So I had a question, I think, for Hazel. Whoops. Let's say if I was interested today, how long would you wait to invite me or get my contact information?
Okay, so I actually have a really good routine with what I do. So I use my attraction marketing. So usually a lot of people come to me and say, what are you doing? Can I have more information on there? And the first thing that I do is I say, like, thank you for contacting me. And I say, do you mind me asking what you currently do? So I don't send them a generic script or anything. I ask, what do you currently do at the moment? I want to find out. They send that back to me, and then I'll start talking about the business. I track everything, so I write down who I've spoken to, when I've spoken to them. To be fair, I have a really good law of average, and people do come back to me, whether it's even just not interested at the moment, or they come back to me straight away. I sign everyone up into my business. So in the UK, we offer free accounts in the UK, so I sign everyone myself into the business. They give me their contact details, I sign them up. We have a really good process of what we do. If I wasn't to get a reply, again, I've written it all down, so then it'll just be onto my follow-up list. And how I follow up is, we have created a video that we send out, but what I would do is I'd say, what was the best part of the video? What did you like best? I don't let them say yes or no to me. I want them to talk to me, so I say, what did you like best about that video? And usually, if they haven't replied back, they say, oh, I haven't watched it just yet. and then we're back to talking again and what we can do. Really, really simple. You just need to find your routine of what you're going to do and scenarios and keep it really simple. Don't talk very much. Don't give much away. Let them do the talking. Does that answer?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we have one here.
Thank you, Derek Bentley from Huntington Beach, California. My question is when periscoping. Okay, so, right. So when periscoping, how do you control the negative feedback? Number one. And number two, are you just using periscoping to educate the team? Or are you using periscoping live and you have somebody monitoring it where you can control that feedback as fast as you can?
Okay, so the first one, there's this really good button called block. So any negativity on there, I press that block button. I don't care, I don't want to know what they've got to say, and I just block them. I haven't got time for that. It doesn't add value to me or anyone else that's watching. So just press block. You'll find some periscopes, you don't even have to use that button. I have some where I'm constantly feeling like I'm pressing it all the time, but that is just the nature of it, to be fair. When I first started Periscope, we didn't have Facebook Live when I first started Periscope. My main reason was I wanted to reach out to the team more, but then it became apparent that Periscope is such a massive network and it can lead into much bigger things than what I thought. So actually what my Periscope is, what I aim at is for any network marketer out there that wants to know more on how they can build socially, online, wherever it may be. I use it purely just to share tips, and it's quite funny, as in I have a lot of other people from other companies that ask me, by the way, offline, what company are you in? So now it's completely changed. So
is there something you're saying in your feed so that you can attract a lot of people to the Periscope?
no, I have a topic that I want to talk about. I make it very interactive. I say, that's my topic done. Send me Q&A below. What do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to answer? Make it about them, and you'll get a good engagement for it as well.
You mentioned Newskin or Hazel with that at all?
No, nothing.
On Facebook Live, you can use your banned word list to help you with those things. So on your page moderation, you can put in words that you don't want people to be able to say publicly, and those comments are hidden. And so I put all the competitors in there. I put any ugly words, anything I don't want to hear. I just ban those before I go live. And I do that. I mean, my page has probably over 150 banned words because the comments are just hidden. The people think everybody can see them, but nobody can but they and their friends.
Wow. I think we have time for one more question.
Here, come use my mic.
Hi, I'm Lisa from Virginia. This question is to all of you guys. Now, how or do you clean up your image? For example, I love social media and I love to post. But for people out there that are already using social media, do you suggest for them to start all over or continue?
Anyone want to take this first? I mean, I don't think any of you guys started with bad social media pages.
I do not recommend starting over because you've already built that network. Now you can go through a re-imaging process and a rebranding, like the girls talked about earlier. And so that maybe, like Emma said, I didn't know this actually, that the cover page is, or your cover photo is the only one they can actually go back and see, even if your settings are private. So maybe it's going and taking those negative ones down, and just getting rid of them. And then going forward, you know not to be posting that stuff, but I don't recommend starting over because then you've lost that whole network at that point.
Ben, did you want to add to that? I know you talk a lot about how many people have kind of followed you before you even know they're following you. Anything about the different social channels?
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest you start all over again because you built something that you have, no matter if it's your Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat, whatever you have on using, you built something and through that, you don't want to start from scratch. Just clean it up. And I always go back and think someone post that. Let's say in my Instagram, I posted something that then I'll go back and my Instagram. That way.
Okay, I'm going to repeat a little bit of that for you guys. So first, if you don't know Ben's story, he has people in his group that have followed him kind of through his whole becoming part of this. This is where I think it's important not to restart that I've heard, is they're going to watch your whole journey, right? Why did you leave your 9 to 5? Is that one of your most important pieces, Hazel, right? If you started over, people wouldn't know where her 9 to 5 was. And so it's important for people to know who you are through your whole story. But you can go back and you can delete some things. You know, if there's anything where you're like, oh, you know, maybe I don't want that party on my page. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that one from college or something. So that was kind of what I heard. And then the other thing that I want to touch on, and I actually want Megs to on this exact question, is as new channels come available, how do you, like, are you branding yourself exactly the same or slightly different?
I am able to brand myself. This is kind of an interesting question because I feel that I brand myself the same, but since you have different audiences in different channels, they're going to see your personality exposed in different ways, right? So on Snapchat, everyone thinks I'm funny, but on Instagram, I'm probably more boring because I don't use Instagram every day. I use Snapchat every day because it allows for me to be more creative, right? A 10-second video is so much easier for me than probably like Holly to go on Facebook Live and just, you know, discuss whatever topic she's got going. I'm more of a stumbler, so 10 seconds is like, ooh, that's my thing, that's my strength. I can do 5-10-second videos and make them fun and engaging, and then maybe pull some of that and redirect it to my Instagram post, because Instagram just upgraded to a minute video now, right? So, you know, there's a little bit more that I can do there. But my strong suit is that 10-second quick fun video. And something else I want to throw out to you guys is collaboration. So something that I'm doing today, if you don't follow me on Snapchat, you'll probably see my stickers around the campus everywhere today, and my code is on the back of my shirt. So if you don't follow me and you want to find out how other people that aren't even in network marketing are creating content just to promote their brand, then you'll be able to see that today on my channel, because there's tons of other people taking over my account today. And so what I do is I give them my password, I allow for people that I trust, that can respect my audience, you know, that knows my audience and can respect them, to create curiosity around what they do, so that you guys or whoever follows me can have other resources, not just me, to learn from, because we all do the business differently, we all do social media differently. So why not learn from an expert who does it better than I do on YouTube, because I'm not a YouTube expert, right? So there will be that person on my Snapchat today. And so when you can collaborate with somebody, it just brings so much more to the table. People are excited about what they're going to see from you, and they come back, because with Snapchat, everything disappears after 24 hours. So if you're not doing something fun and creative, then chances are, you know, it's up to you to force your audience to come back. So you always want to remain consistent and authentic.
Thank you so much. Okay, that's all the time we have for the panel. Can you guys give them all a really big